Welcome to the Tea Huddle with Marisa and Kelly.
Your only source for gridiron gossip. If you love watching NFL football,
but you also liked watching Taylor and Travis on the field in love after the playoff game,
then this is the podcast for you.
Welcome back, Kelly. We are back in person this week, where you belong.
I'm back. I had to hurry back to Tea Huddle Studios to make sure you're doing okay after this weekend. Sorry about the Lions. How you feeling?
You know, I'm distraught. I feel like your reaction time, like your sadness time, your time of mourning should be proportionate to how long you've been a fan. And I've only been a fan for 3 weeks. So I'm going to take it easy. There's lifelong Lions fans out there. This is really their time, but I'm upset. They had it. They had it in the first half. We'll get into all of that. But
you got your jersey finally.
And my shirt came in time. We were all worried last week. Will the shirt come in time? So at least there was one Lions victory this week. My Lions shirt got delivered. I didn't wear it because I was worried about the superstition. It didn't matter. They lost. But honestly, and we'll get into this as well, all of the Taylor and Travis loving and kissing and whispering, like it was a distraction. It was enough of a distraction.
Eases the soul.
Yes, it really did. It like softened the blow of my favorite NFL team not making it to their first ever Super Bowl. But I'll be strong for you guys today because we only have a couple of more episodes after this one, and next week is our first annual Teacup Awards.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yes, it's like a best of superlatives for the year, but with a Tea Huddle twist. So it's going to be a fun one. You
don't want to miss that one.
But first, if you must make me relive the loss, Kelly, please give us a recap of championship weekend.
All right. Yeah, it's a little harder to recap it when I'm staring at you in this Lions shirt, but unfortunately for you and all the Lions fans out there, the 49ers, they had a huge comeback win to beat the Lions. The Lions led 24-7.
They really did.
But they lost momentum going into the second half. Some people may be looking to blame Dan Campbell, or as some people are now calling him, Dan Gamble, because of 2 failed fourth down conversion attempts.
He did not play it safe. And maybe sometimes safe is better than sorry.
Yeah, sometimes. But it worked for them earlier.
Yes.
And during the playoffs the past 2 weeks. So just happens sometimes. Your luck can run out. But you got to give props to the 49ers, specifically Brock Purdy, who is now the 4th quarterback in NFL history to win 4 playoff games in his first 2 career seasons.
Wow. He's like the little engine that could, that guy.
Yeah, he's Mr. Irrelevant to the Super Bowl. I'm happy for him at least. And then the other game this past weekend, Ravens versus the Chiefs. The Ravens fell to the Chiefs. I think their lack of running game may have contributed to that. And also Travis Kelce just being unstoppable.
The whole time was like, if we were still in fantasy football time, my points were just racking up because he was every play.
He was crushing it. Yeah. He officially surpassed Jerry Rice's record of most postseason receptions. That's a big win for him. Jerry Rice seemed fine passing that on to him. He said it's nice. Just one of my records. You can't have them all. Travis Kelce, he had a day, both.
I mean, like, not only was it probably the best day of his life, it seemed like it was probably maybe like the best day of anybody's life ever.
Taylor's life, maybe.
He won the big game. Like, he won it. I mean, it's a team sport, but like he won it. And then the superstar of our generation ran into his arms, and everybody, like, just the content that has come out of the post-game field celebration is feeding me for eternity. I think there's so many angles.
I know. Every time I look, there's a new angle. Like I can actually like hear what they're saying.
Yes.
New mic.
Some of them, like audio is picking up. People are debating. Like, in one moment, did she say, "I've never been so proud of anyone ever," or "I've never loved anyone this much ever"? We definitely got some "I love yous."
We definitely got "I love yous."
We definitely got full makeouts with not a lipstick smudge.
I know. What kind of lipstick does she wear?
Pat McGrath.
Ah.
Yeah.
It works.
I mean, definitely. I'm sure sales for that are also. Every piece of jewelry she was wearing was Chiefs.
Yes, I love the ring,
Dedicated.
the Chiefs ring, and then the bracelet that her and Travis both have. Is that
Yes, TNT.
TNT?
Wow. It really was just a lot.
It's like a fairy tale.
It really is. It's someone, and this was a tweet, but like it feels like we are all living in a fan fiction story. Oh, and I just
a Disney Channel movie.
Yes, it's very High School Musical. It's very a Cinderella story. And the edits that people are making on TikTok and Instagram of like his first video saying, "Oh, I guess she didn't want to meet me," and now he's celebrating his championship win
with her in his arms.
Oh, it's almost too much. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, but what? Where do you go? Where do you go from there?
I mean, there's still one more game to watch.
Yes.
And Taylor will be coming from Tokyo, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get to the Super Bowl in time. It's going to be...
She's definitely coming. There's no doubt in my mind.
Hopefully the wind is in her favor that day.
Yeah. Right. What if there's a storm? In the fan fiction, there would be a storm, but she'd get here anyway. I will say, now it's clear that I love them. I love their love. I think he's so sweet. I think she's so happy. It's all great. There was some bad behavior from Travis Kelce on Sunday.
Yeah, we didn't love some of his sportsmanship, taunting during the game, before the game, after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one, like before the game, we have to talk about
Definitely.
Justin Tucker, the kicker. He was like on the
kicker for the
sideline.
other team.
The kicker for the Ravens was like stretching on the sideline. And I guess Mahomes was also warming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that like Travis asked for him to move because Mahomes was warming up.
Yeah.
And he moved, a little bit to the right. Wasn't enough.
Didn't move enough.
And you could see Travis just grab his helmet, his shoe, like everything, and just throw it across the field.
Yeah, his ball, his helmet. Then I think Mahomes kicked over his ball holder thing that holds up your ball that you kick it. It was like bullying behavior.
He was like alone. He was just like doing his thing. Like,
yeah. And
but why were they so close? I don't know.
Justin Tucker, the Ravens kicker, not but 2 weeks ago did I see a whole spiel of him
Taylor
on Instagram or somewhere talking about how much he loves Taylor. He called her the songbird of our generation.
Yeah.
Now you're going to bully that man?
Maybe he's intimidated.
Yeah, right. Don't be praising my girl quite so much. Yes, and then in the game there was some taunting. Some unpenalized taunting.
Yeah, he was, saying things after every play. He was like encouraging, like trying to get the other players on the Ravens to get a penalty, like taunting them, and it worked. Van Noy got a penalty based on like some interactions between them.
Yeah,
the taunting was a big story this weekend. Zay Flowers on the Ravens, he was flagged for taunting after a 50-yard catch during the third quarter, and this completely changed the momentum of the game. This penalty, 15-yard penalty. So he got called. Travis did not get called. People have, I don't know, a lot of things to say about it. Joe Burrow said, like, let the boys play. Like, taunting should be allowed. Like, it's an emotional day. They're all, it's easier if everyone's taunting versus, like, you're calling penalties on some versus the other. So,
yeah. I mean, if Joe Burrow says it, let that be the rule.
He's a sweet boy.
Yeah. And then fans got in on the taunting too. Okay, so I'm here to clear up some fake news. Ooh. So after the kissing on the field and the non-smudged lipstick, Taylor's leaving the stadium and she's walking out of like a hallway. And there's a couple different clips because, it was like 30 seconds. So you can either see like the first 10 seconds or the last, whatever. And there's a clip of someone screaming at her, "You're ruining football." And there's another clip where she says, I didn't do anything. So people are writing articles. Taylor Swift claps back at fans who say she's ruining football. I was like, that doesn't really seem like her style. And in fact, it wasn't. First, somebody screamed out at her something along the lines of like, you crushed it, or like, way to go. And she said, I didn't do anything. And then someone screamed, you're ruining football. And she didn't respond and just left. So here's what I have to say. If it really, really bothers you that they are showing Taylor Swift so much at the game, first of all, grow up, get over it. Second of all, she's not the one controlling how much they show her.
She's just there watching a game like all of us.
She's just there watching a game. So if you think what's ruining football is how much they are showing at her, then you think the director of the program is ruining football, or the camera operator, or whatever it is. But she is simply attending. And if you think she's ruining America's sport by attending, then you should get a grip.
I'm sure she doesn't want to be shown all the time. Like, she just wants to like live her life.
In fact, in this game, the camera was held on her for a while because it was promoting the Grammys that will be this upcoming Sunday on CBS. So CBS was showing her, and she is confirmed to be at the Grammys. Can't wait. I was a little bit hoping that the Chiefs would lose so that we could see if Travis goes to the Grammys with her, but he will now be practicing for the Super Bowl. Anyway, so it was like a held shot on Taylor, and you see her mouth go away because she knew she was going to get all this backlash if like there's a 40-second clip of her.
It's also like when Travis plays well, they always show her reaction,
which I love.
We want to know.
Yeah, I'm like, show Taylor. So we hate the people who think that her attending a game and being subject to being shown by the
it's not fun taunting.
No, not fun at all. Joe Burrow would not say let them taunt about that. So taunting was it was the week of taunting.
It's emotional. Now that we recap the games, we have some other updates related to players who did not make it to the championship.
Yes, even though they're out of the running, we're still interested in their business. So starting with Tyreek Hill, last week, he was our final goss. The fact that a divorce petition was filed in Florida on behalf of Tyreek Hill, but he said, nope, I didn't do that. I had no awareness. I never said to do that. Okay. So he has spoken out again, saying that he, quote, fired the bonehead who filed the divorce filings without his permission. So he's sticking by his story that it was completely without his approval, his request.
It's so confusing still. Something happened.
It's a bizarre one. Like, I get that the more people on your team, the less oversight you have over things. Like if you have a money manager, a business manager, and a this and an accountant and a whatever, like you might not know every transaction that comes in and out of your bank account. You know if you're being filed for divorce. That's crazy.
Yeah, something has to be said for anyone to take that initiative, I'm pretty sure.
We also heard that the lawyer who was representing him has quit. Yeah. So he said he fired them. Daily Mail says that he quit.
Yeah, the lawyer quit. I guess this lawyer was also representing him in the paternity suits. So now Tyreek has to go find a new lawyer.
I would imagine that Tyreek Hill would be a challenging client, especially if he's saying, I never told you to file for divorce, or maybe, you know what? Maybe this guy didn't like Tyreek Hill and said, I'm going to file you for divorce without your consent. That would be crazy, but...
But as of now,
that's Tyreek's story.
They're not divorced.
Yeah, they're not divorced. So there's that.
And speaking of Dolphins players, it seems like Braxton Berrios might be leaving Miami. He posted on Instagram saying, I hated to see this one end. This year was one I'll forever be grateful for. I got to come back to the city I call home and play for my childhood team. I'm thankful for all of my guys I got to share the field with and everyone else up in that building that made coming to work every day fun. Fins up. Fins up.
What he didn't mention in there is that his girlfriend, Alex Earl, TikTok star, is also based in Miami. So is he leaving her behind? Or is she going wherever he goes? What's going to happen to them? We'll find out.
Yeah, this could be a big move for the two of them, or one. We don't know.
We don't know.
But yeah, he signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins in March. So I guess that 1 year's up. And the Dolphins do have a lot of receivers. They have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, a few other people out there. So I think any team would be happy to have Braxton. He had a great season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where he goes.
I can't wait to see where he goes and if Alex Earl goes there too.
Someone else we're still waiting to see where they go is Bill Belichick. He's still jobless. I don't know. I feel like at this point, he might have to wait until FY25 to find the right team to coach.
How could any of us feel secure in our jobs if someone who's revered as the greatest football coach of all time can't get a football coaching job?
I know.
Yikes.
They're all the teams are going for younger coaches. So we'll see what happens to Bill. Yeah, maybe he will be with Gronk as a broadcaster for Fox.
A little reunion between the two of them. Okay, and then one last fun little story from the week about a player who's had a great season but is not in
the championship.
We found out this week that Snoop Dogg coached CJ Stroud when he was a kid.
So fun.
So fun. Snoop Dogg has Snoop Youth Football League, a nonprofit organization that he founded in 2005 to give inner city kids the chance to play football. We know that CJ Stroud had a tough childhood. His father is currently still in prison, and he played in Snoop Youth Football League when he was 11 and 12 years old.
Coach Snoop.
Coach Snoop. Yeah, Snoop talked on a podcast this week about what it was like to coach Stroud and that he remembers him. He said he's so positive. I remember him being so laser focused. That's what I like about him. He said that he's pushing a different narrative than a lot of these other guys in the league. He's pushing a real narrative of spirit, love, and just being a voice of positivity. So we already loved CJ Stroud, and now we love him even more.
Yeah, if Snoop loves him, we love him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it is really sweet. It sounds like Snoop really watches all of the players that have gone to the NFL who used to play in his league, and he thinks of them as his babies because they are just children when they start off. And now look at CJ.
Really cool that he gives kids an opportunity to train and get to the NFL.
And you can see how it ends up. Playoff team.
And for sure, Rookie of the Year.
Well, it's been a little while, but we have a new arrest on our hands, so it's time to
step out of the car. Step out of the car, Kayshon Boutte. Step out of the car.
Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver for the New England Patriots.
That's your team.
That's my team. Yes, I know him well. He was arrested last Thursday for illegal sports betting while playing college football at LSU. He was charged for 1 felony count of computer fraud and 1 misdemeanor count of gambling underage. So this story is a little bit funny because it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
The betting took place in 2022, 2023. The past 2 years when he was under 21. He's very young. He's just turned 21 this few months ago. And the legal age to gamble in Louisiana is 21, so he was under that age. He allegedly placed more than 8,900 bets, which is in 2 years.
The sheer volume.
Sheer volume for $636,000. This is a gambling problem.
Yeah.
But it didn't go well because he lost more than $81,000.
Betting that, so people out there have done the math. Betting that many times over the amount of days that he bet averages out to 22 and a half bets a day. That is
crazy.
How do you have time to sleep? How do you have time to practice? How do you have
He's in school.
You're supposed to be going to class. You're supposed to be doing your homework. You're not. You're just betting. Bet.
Little bets at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of the bets were on the LSU football team, and a lot of them were on himself.
Well, so that's my favorite part of all of this, because what has happened historically, you can make sure you lose. You can't make sure you win. Yeah. So if people are really illegally shady gambling behavior, is to bet that your team loses and then sabotage your own team.
Yeah.
This guy's not. He's betting on himself to win.
Maybe he's trying to motivate himself a little bit.
But like, I mean, it's sort of wholesome. Like we all, like he believes in himself and he's going to bet money that he's going to win. A lot of those bets did not pay out.
No. Yeah. One of them, he bet he would score a touchdown and gain 82 yards against Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
He did not do either of those things. He lost money on himself. That's got to hurt.
If you don't believe in yourself, who will?
It's true.
And he was like, not only do I believe in myself, I'm putting money on it, which is a crime.
It is a crime. And the felony that he was charged for the computer fraud was because he used a fake name for his bets because he was under 21. But it was a very discreet alias. It was Kayshawn Booty 7. So it went undetected for, I guess, 2 years. But yeah,
it all caught up with him this week.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's out of jail for now.
Yeah, I saw the video of him leaving jail. It's sad.
He's really young.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe no one explained to him the rules.
Yeah. He obviously wasn't trying to hide it.
Right. That 7 at the end of his username, he thought that might throw everybody off. Well, yeah, he's been arrested, and maybe that'll be our last arrest of the season, but there's still 2 weeks, so anything's possible, especially out in Vegas. People are going to be getting into trouble. I predict we have at least one more arrest.
Players are starting to relax, the ones who are not in the Super Bowl, so we'll see.
This was our first gambling arrest of the season.
Yeah.
It's fun. A little diversity. Light. They don't all have to be, beating up your girlfriend. We can get arrested for all different things. Actually, that's not true. There's a lot of driving related arrests.
A lot of
speeding, suspended license. But every now and then you get a little gambling in there too.
I hope he's not going to Vegas.
Definitely.
And for our segment today, we are going to do a little bit of Super Bowl prep.
We've covered some of this before, but we want to get everyone caught up on the personal lives of our Super Bowl competitors. So, the thing about the Super Bowl is that a lot of people are watching it that don't normally watch football and maybe don't even care.
But here at the Tea Huddle, it is our duty to get those people prepped and maybe even impress some friends at the party.
And we're not talking prepped like learning about the downs and the runs and the safeties. We are going to look at football like it's a reality show because it really kind of is. And right now, we are going to get to know the cast.
And decide for ourselves who we're rooting for on the big day. So let's start with the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Obviously, we have Travis Kelce dating our girl Taylor.
And he's one of the best tight ends of all time.
Right, yes. Not just a pretty face. We love his whole family, Mama Donna, Papa Ed, and of course his brother, Eagles center, Jason Kelce.
Another tight end on the team, Blake Bell. We've seen his wife, Lindsay Bell, before.
Yes, she is the pregnant girl posing with Taylor and Brittany Mahomes at a lot of the games recently.
Girl squad. I really like Chris Jones, defensive tackle and one of the captains.
He is also known for an infamous, embarrassing wardrobe malfunction involving his shorts at his combine before he was drafted.
Yeah, if you Google that one, it might not be safe for work. But he seems like a really good guy. I loved when he got his 10th sack on the last game of the regular season, and it paid out an extra $1.25 million. He went wild on the field. It was really fun to watch.
L'Jarius Sneed, a cornerback, is my new favorite.
He had a huge play against the Ravens, forcing a fumble just inches from the end zone.
We are rooting for him. He had a really rough, traumatic childhood, and he's out there now just crushing it.
Yeah, he's overcome a lot. Both of his parents went to prison, and he was basically raised by his 10-year-old brother.
But his mom was at the last game celebrating with L'Jarius.
You gotta love when football brings families back together. And to the man who's tied it all together, head coach Andy Reid, he is probably the most lovable character of this reality show.
He's adorable, and he loves Taylor and cheeseburgers.
But really, this man has a real thing for cheeseburgers. It's how he celebrated his last Super Bowl victory.
I just learned that Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, is also a rapper who goes by Young Joka.
You might as well have a side hustle if the team is mysteriously benching you during the playoffs.
Or so you claim. Okay, and how do we feel about Patrick Mahomes, star quarterback?
He is truly one of the best ever, but I have sort of fallen out of love for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, we have seen this season, he sort of seems like a baby when things don't go his way.
But love him or hate him, that guy is going to show up and play on Super Bowl Sunday.
I do have to say, there are currently 3 players on the Chiefs who were arrested within the last couple of years for domestic assault. So huge points against the Chiefs for that.
Yeah, Willie Gay, Justin Ross, and Charles Omenihu. Omenihu actually was on the 49ers at the time of his arrest, but now plays for the Chiefs. So maybe that's points against both teams.
Yeah, it evens it out a little bit.
Yeah. But now let's look at the 49ers, the sweet, sweet Brock Purdy as quarterback.
He's very cute.
And he was selected last overall in the draft, and they call him Mr. Irrelevant.
Honestly, mean.
But now he's in the Super Bowl, so you got to root for that.
He actually still lives with roommates because he's on his rookie contract, and San Francisco is expensive.
Yeah, he lives with offensive lineman Nick Zakel. I hope they can renegotiate Brock Purdy's contract to give him some more money because now he's in the Super Bowl and he deserves that.
And then there's running back Christian McCaffrey. He is engaged to Olivia Culpo. We know her because she was Miss Universe in 2012 and then went on to date Nick Jonas and another football player, former Patriot Danny Amendola. They had a public messy breakup.
But now she found love with Christian McCaffrey, and he is the best running back in the league and is most likely going to find the end zone in the Super Bowl. So you will hear his name.
I just learned that his dad was also an NFL player.
And his dad actually won a Super Bowl for the 49ers.
I feel like that has to be a good omen for his first Super Bowl with the 49ers.
Yeah. Kyle Juszczyk is a great fullback, but we're a little bit more familiar with his wife, Kristen Juszczyk, who makes amazing custom clothes for players and wives of players and girlfriends of players.
Wags, as they're often referred to. He's always hyping his wife up, which we love. And I can't wait to see what she wears to the Super Bowl and if maybe she's going to make another item for Taylor, although now their men are competing, so maybe not.
Fred Warner, a linebacker, his wife, Sydney Hightower, was on The Bachelor.
Pilot Pete season. I think she was somewhat of a villain, but they seem really happy and in love.
You might also recognize Nick Bosa from Kim Kardashian's Skims ads.
But we don't love him because he tweeted that Beyonce is trash and has tweeted and liked some other controversial social media posts.
Yeah, that's a strike against the 49ers for having bad taste.
I just learned that wide receiver Brandon Ayuk grew up as a 49ers fan, and now he's on that team, which I love.
So sweet. There are pictures of him as a 4-year-old wearing 49ers gear, and apparently his mom is a diehard fan.
That's so fun. One of my favorite 49ers is tight end George Kittle. He just has quintessential, like, big, goofy tight end energy. He also is obsessed with his wife and always talking about how much he loves her. And I love.
Yeah, I feel like tight ends just have to be big, goofy dudes with lots of energy.
It's just like a criteria, a prerequisite. Another 49er that I love is Dre Greenlaw. When he was drafted, a father of one of his college classmates came out and said that Greenlaw had protected his daughter when someone slipped something in her drink at a college party.
Oh, he's a nice guy. He also overcame a really hard childhood and, after being in the foster care system, was adopted by one of his high school football coaches.
Okay, well, what do you think? Who are we rooting for?
It's a pretty tight matchup here. But I honestly don't think I can root for the Kansas City Chiefs this year.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree. I want Taylor to be happy, and I'm happy that she's going to be at the game, but I don't think that's enough for me to get behind them. The 49ers lost this Super Bowl matchup in 2020, so I feel like I have no choice but to root for them this time around.
Yeah, and they haven't won since the 90s, so this is their time.
Well, there you have it. And go Niners.
Go Niners. And that brings us to the final goss.
Final goss.
Okay, so Saturday, Kadarius Toney, who we just touched upon briefly, also known as Young Joka, he came into at least my attention when he was offsides. And
Yeah, he got a lot of hate for that.
Yeah, everybody hated him. And he lost the Chiefs that game against the Bills, where Patrick Mahomes threw a fit and said, worst call I ever saw, even though he literally was offsides and they called him offsides. But anyway, so that's Kadarius Toney. He was ruled out for Sunday's game on Saturday, and the reasons given were a hip injury and personal reasons. So immediately my interest peaked. Like, personal reasons sounds dramatic.
Yeah, is he just recovering from all the hate on the internet about that loss?
Right.
What's
Is there
happening?
like turmoil? Is there whatever? But then it seemed like no, nothing dramatic, because it came out that night that he and his girlfriend had just given birth to their first child. So that must have been the personal reasons.
Yeah, and his daughter was born on his birthday, which is Saturday.
That's
So,
cute.
Very cute.
But then on Sunday, things took a turn, a gossipy, interesting turn. He goes
Juicy.
live on Instagram, which, as I've said, never a good idea. It was just a black screen and you could just hear his voice. It probably was from the hospital where his girlfriend had just given birth. And he went on a full rant saying, I'm not hurt, in quotes, none of that shit, save that shit. Again, I'm just quoting here. Suck my dick too. I'm not hurt. None of that. It goes from hip to ankle to this to that. So he's calling his employer a liar.
Yeah,
and
yikes.
telling them to
Suck his dick.
you heard what I said. So he's saying I'm not injured and they are lying and they benched me, which is dramatic and exciting and like what's all going on. Then we know what happened on Sunday. The Chiefs won. Then on Monday, Andy Reid was asked about it and he said he had not seen the video, but he did hear about it. And of course, Toney was injured. They wouldn't have made that up. He said, well, obviously he's been on the injury report. So that part, that's not made up by any means, but he's been working through some things and he'll be back out there.
What is he working
What
through?
is he working through? And are the things that he's working through the fact that he thinks the coaches are lying about him, that they're benching him without fair reason?
He just really went kind of crazy
Yeah,
after all the hate he got from that game against the Bills.
Mm-hmm. So as of now, we don't know the answer, but
The question will be, is he going to play in the Super Bowl? Will he even be ready to go? Will he be on the injury reserve list or healthy or...
and like physically healthy, mentally healthy, like, there's sort of two categories here to address. But he's saying his hip is fine, his ankle's fine. I think he's not playing in the Super Bowl. First of all, he didn't contribute, right? He made them lose, not win. And now with all the drama,
he hasn't played since the Chiefs played the Patriots. I think he probably won't play, but maybe he'll be dressed to play.
I, for one, can't wait to see. And like, are people sitting near him? Is he like having pleasant interactions with his coach and his teammates after he publicly accused them of lying? We'll see. We'll find out. We'll tune in. We'll let you know.
But they have a week to rest in between, so that will give Toney some time to recover physically and
Otherwise.
personally.
Yeah. Resolve the personal things he's working through. Well, now the things that need to be resolved are this like beef between him and his Chiefs. But yeah, let's see how this all comes together.
Well, I think that's it for us today. Good luck to both of the 49ers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Make sure to rest up this coming weekend.
And good luck to Taylor as she hustles from Tokyo to Vegas to make it in time for the Super Bowl.
And for all those players who are not playing in the Super Bowl, good luck in the Pro Bowl on Sunday.
And make sure everybody to tune in next week for our first ever Teacup Awards. But until then,
Stay juicy.